Let's go to Italy, where the death toll has risen and grief has turned to anger following the Genoa bridge collapse that has killed at least 39 people and injured 24 others. A 200-metre section of the Morani Bridge collapsed during a heavy thunderstorm on Tuesday, sending at least 35 cars and trucks plunging more than 50 metres to the ground below. And as Bridget Burke reports, there are now strong calls for the directors of Autostrada, the company that managed the toll bridge, to resign.
The mangled wreck of former footballer Davide Capello's car wedged in the twisted broken metal and concrete of what was once the 51-year-old Morandi toll bridge. There weren't many miracles from the Genoa bridge collapse, but Davide Capello was one of them. Speaking from his hospital bed, the 33-year-old described apocalyptic scenes as his car plunged more than 50 metres to the ground as he drove across the bridge into Genoa in torrential rain.
Poi ho avuto la fortuna che sono finito, non so neanche io dove, perché dopo ho rivisto la mia macchina.
I remember the road that started to collapse and I heard an amazing noise. I saw the road collapsing and I went down with it. I was lucky enough to land. I don't even know how, because if you saw my car, I didn't pass out. I remained lucid and called the fire brigade to let them know about the situation and to come and get me. Then I called my family. I felt as though a miracle happened. It was like being in a film. I saw the rescuers who arrived, the fire brigade, everyone. It was a shock, a real shock. I just have this picture in front of my eyes of the road that collapsed. I saw 4 cars in front of me. There was a fair bit of traffic. I can't imagine something like this happening in Italy. I feel like a miracle has happened. Saint Barbara protected me.
Another miracle inside this wreck. A firefighter dangling in the air rescues a man from the wreckage of his car 30 metres above the ground as it teeters precariously between pieces of the broken bridge. Whilst this driver survived, at least 39 others weren't so lucky. Among those who perished, 2 families, a nurse, an anaesthetist, a truck driver and a chef who were all driving over the bridge, and 2 seasonal workers who were in a van parked at a recycling centre underneath it when it collapsed. Authorities say floodlights were used by a team of more than 400 firefighters overnight in the hope of finding more survivors, but as time passes, it is now more likely to be purely a recovery operation. And as this recovery operation continues, shock and grief are turning to anger, with the bridge's operator now under fire. Serious questions are now being raised about the state of repair amid revelations the Genoa Council was told in 2012 it could fall down in 10 years. Transport Minister Danilo Toninelli said Autostrada, a unit of Milan-listed Lancia Group, should pay fines and compensation. He said he would penalise anyone who didn't fulfil their contractual obligations regarding maintenance and called on Autostrada's management to resign.
The first thing we'll do is go and check the stipulated convention with Autostrada and revoke this concession. We will heavily penalise those who have not fulfilled clear contractual obligations regarding maintenance.
Autostrada, whose parent firm Lancia also runs toll road concessions in Brazil, Chile, India and Poland, said it had done regular sophisticated checks of the structure, adding these tests gave reassuring results. But the bridge's condition and its ability to cope with the weight of higher levels of traffic have been the focus of public debate since the collapse, as has public spending. Within hours of the disaster, the anti-establishment government that took office in June said the collapse showed Italy needed to spend more on its dilapidated infrastructure, ignoring EU budget constraints if necessary. Today was a public holiday in Italy to mark the Holy Feast of the Assumption.
Penso in particolare a quanti sono provati dalla tragedia avvenuta ieri a Genova.
At Vatican, Pope Francis sought to offer comfort to a grieving nation, offering prayers at a mass for the victims and their loved ones. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte declared a 12-month state of emergency, the bridge's collapse effectively cutting the city in half and making it difficult for residents to travel. The Genoa Public Prosecutor's Office has opened an investigation into possible negligent homicide. For Checkpoint, Bridget Burke.